All right, so you're looking for the perfect music production laptop. I get it. It's a jungle out there. Mac PC. What specs do you really need? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We're diving into this world of music production laptops with a little help from Music Radar. They just put out their list of the top laptops for 2024, so we're going to cut through the noise and get right to the good stuff.
That's right. We're going to figure out what's best for you and your music.
Exactly. So Music Radar's top pick, their ultimate music making machine, is the 16-inch MacBook Pro M4. But ultimate usually means a pretty ultimate price tag.
True, but it is their top pick for a reason.
Yeah.
If you think long term, you're probably not going to need to upgrade for years. The battery life is amazing, up to 24 hours. Less if you're really pushing it with music production, of course. But still, the M4 Pro or Max processor is no joke.
Okay, so if you want the best, and you have the budget, that's it, the 16-inch MacBook Pro. But what if you don't want to spend quite that much? What if you're looking for something a little more budget-friendly?
Well, Music Radar has a best budget pick, and it's the Apple MacBook Air M2. You might be thinking, Air? Really? But that M2 chip is more powerful than you might think, and it's super portable, only 1.24 kilograms, and 11.3 millimeter thin.
All right, so if you're on the move a lot, this is a pretty tempting option. You're probably not running huge orchestral libraries on it, though, right?
Probably not. But for a lot of music production, it's perfect. The M2 comes with 8 to 24 gigs of RAM, so think like singer-songwriters, electronic music, hip-hop, stuff where you're not loading hundreds of gigs of samples at once.
Right. Plus, even though there are those newer M3 chips, this is still a really good way to get into Mac music making, especially at this price. But not everyone wants a Mac. What about Windows users?
For Windows, Music Radar recommends the Dell XPS 17. This thing has a huge 17-inch screen, which I think you'll agree is a game changer for music production.
Oh, yeah, when you're mixing, you want to be able to see everything.
Exactly. And the Dell XPS 17 doesn't skimp on power either. It has some really impressive Intel processors. You get it with an i7-13700H, or even all the way up to an i9-13900H.
Nice. So if you really want to get in there and customize your specs, the Dell gives you that flexibility. But there's got to be a trade-off somewhere, right?
Well, the battery life isn't quite as good as some of the Macs. It's around 8 hours. Still decent. But yeah, those M-series chips from Apple, they really are incredible when it comes to battery life.
Okay, so maybe not ideal for those all-night studio sessions, unless you've got an outlet handy. But if you're a Windows user who wants a big screen and a powerful machine, this is definitely worth a look. So we've covered the top 3, but the Music Radar article actually has a bunch more laptops. They give a quick summary for each one, like the 14-inch MacBook Pro M3.
Right, if you want the newest Apple chip.
Yeah.
But you don't need a huge screen. That's a good option.
And then there's the 15-inch MacBook Air M3.
That's the most portable. And it's a huge step up from the M2 Air.
And they even have a 2-in-1.
The Microsoft Surface Pro 9. Perfect if you want a touchscreen, or if you want to be able to use it as a tablet.
What about for Windows users who want something like a MacBook?
Well, there's the Samsung Galaxy Book 4 Pro. It has great battery life and a really nice screen. It's a good alternative to a MacBook if you prefer Windows.
And then there's the Acer Swift X14.
That was really slim and powerful. But the battery life isn't great.
And of course, we can't forget about the gaming laptops. They have the Razer Blade 15 Studio Edition on the list.
Yep. That one's super powerful. It's really designed for gamers, but it can definitely handle music production too.
So if it can run the latest video games, it can probably handle your music software, no problem. But I'm guessing it's pricey.
It is. But you're basically getting 2 machines in one, a gaming laptop and a music production laptop.
I like that. But before we get too lost in all these different laptops, I want to talk about the big picture. What are the key takeaways from this Music Radar article? What do you think are the most important things for our listeners to keep in mind?
I think the most important things are CPU, RAM, and storage. Those are the 3 things you really want to understand because they make a huge difference for music production.
Okay, so let's break those down. First up, CPU. Why is that so important?
Think of the CPU as the brain of your computer. It controls how smoothly everything runs, especially when you have a lot of plugins in virtual instruments. The more powerful your CPU, the better your software will run, and the less likely you are to have problems with things crashing.
So basically, powerful CPU, smoother workflow, fewer headaches. Got it. What about RAM?
RAM is like your computer's short-term memory. It holds all the data that your software needs to access quickly. When you're making music, that means samples, plugins, tracks, everything. The more RAM you have, the more you can do at once. without your computer slowing down.
So if the CPU is the brain, RAM is kind of like the workspace. The bigger the workspace, the more you can spread out.
Exactly.
Okay, what about storage? Isn't that just like where you save your files?
It is, but it's also about speed. You want a fast SSD, a solid-state drive, especially for music production.
Yeah.
Because audio files can be really big. A fast SSD will make everything load faster.
Yeah.
Your projects, your samples, everything.
So it's not just about having enough space. It's about having the right kind of space.
Exactly.
Okay. So we talked about Apple's M-series chips before. And the Music Radar article really highlights how great they are.
They are. Apple has done a really amazing job with those chips. They're super powerful, and they're really energy efficient, which is why those MacBooks get such great battery life.
Yeah. 24 hours on a single charge? That's crazy.
It is. There is one thing to be aware of. Some music software, especially plugins, doesn't work perfectly with the M-series chips yet.
Oh, right, because they're so new.
Right.
So if you use a lot of plugins, you might want to double check that they're compatible before you buy a new Mac.
Yeah. That's good advice.
So we were talking about gaming laptops before and how they can be good for music production.
Yeah.
And the Music Radar article actually includes one, the Razer Blade 15 Studio Edition. Why are gaming laptops becoming so popular with musicians?
Because they're really powerful. They need to be to run all those modern video games. So they have powerful CPUs, fast graphics cards, and lots of RAM. And those are all the same things you need for music production.
So if it can handle a video game, it can handle your music.
Pretty much.
I like that. But they're probably expensive.
They can be. But it's worth considering. If you're serious about both gaming and music, you're getting one machine that can do both.
Now, we've talked a lot about making music on your laptop, but what about listening to it? How important are the speakers?
Honestly, I wouldn't recommend relying on your laptop speakers for critical listening, especially for mixing and mastering.
Yeah, most laptop speakers are pretty tiny.
Right. They're fine for casual listening.
Yeah.
But if you're serious about your music, you need something better.
So you're saying I need to get external speakers.
It'll be a good idea. Or headphones. You want something that will give you a more accurate representation of your sound.
So even if a laptop has really great speakers, I should still consider getting some dedicated listening tools.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like anything else. You need the right tools for the job.
Okay. That makes sense. It's amazing to think about how far music production has come. It used to be that you needed a whole studio full of gear, and now you can do it all on a laptop.
It really is amazing.
And it makes you wonder what's next. What do you think the future holds for music production laptops?
Well, I think we're going to see even more integration between hardware and software. Imagine laptops that come with built-in audio interfaces.
That would be cool.
Or AI-powered music production tools.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like tools that can help you write songs or arrange your music or even mix and master your tracks.
Wow. That's a little scary.
I know, but it's already happening. There are already plugins and software that use AI, and I think it's only going to get more sophisticated.
So in the future, I could have an AI assistant that helps me make music.
Maybe.
But some musicians might not like that.
It's true. Not everyone is comfortable with AI.
So what would you say to them? I would say AI is just a tool. It's up to you how you use it. It can be a great way to get new ideas or to break out of a creative rut or to just speed up some of the more tedious parts of music production.
So it's not about replacing human creativity.
Right.
It's about giving musicians more options.
Exactly.
I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
We talked about the best laptops for music production. We broke down CPU, RAM, and storage. We even talked about the future of music technology.
And hopefully, our listeners feel like they have a better understanding of what to look for.
Absolutely. Remember, choosing a laptop is a personal decision. There's no right or wrong answer. It's about finding the machine that's right for you, your workflow, your budget, and your goals.
And don't forget to check out the Music Radar article. We'll put a link in the show notes.
One last question for our listeners. If you could design your dream music production laptop, what would it have? What would make it the perfect tool for you?
Yeah. What features would you include?
Think about it and let us know. Because who knows, maybe someday your green laptop will become a reality. Until then, keep making music.
Keep making music.
You know what this conversation's making me think about? We talk about all these powerful laptops, all these specs, but what about the other side of the equation? What about listening to the music you're making? How important is sound quality when you're choosing a laptop?
That's a really good point. And to be honest, I wouldn't recommend relying on your laptop speakers if you're really serious about your music.
Yeah, I mean, Most laptop speakers are pretty tiny.
Exactly. They're fine for casual listening, but for mixing and mastering, you need something more accurate.
Yeah, so external speakers.
Definitely a good idea. Or headphones. You want something that will give you a really clear picture of your sound, so you can hear all the details.
So even if a laptop says it has amazing speakers, I should probably still get some external monitors or headphones.
Yeah, if you want to get the best result.
Okay, that makes sense. It's amazing to think about how far we've come with music production, I mean. You used to need a whole room full of gear, and now you can do it all on a laptop.
I know. That's incredible.
Makes you wonder what's next. What do you think the future holds for music production laptops?
Well, I think we're going to see even more integration between hardware and software.
Yeah.
Like, imagine laptops that come with built-in audio interfaces.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or even AI-powered music production tools.
AI-powered. What do you mean?
Like, imagine software that can help you write songs, or arrange your music, or even mix and master your tracks.
Whoa.
I know it sounds crazy.
That is kind of scary.
But it's already happening. There are already AI plugins and software out there. And they're going to get more sophisticated.
Are you saying that in the future, we could have AI assistants that help us make music?
It's possible.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I know. It's a lot to take in.
But some musicians are probably really excited about that.
Oh, yeah. Some people are embracing it fully.
But I bet some people are really against it.
For sure. Some people think it's taking the humanity out of music.
Yeah. What would you say to those people?
Well, I would say AI is just a tool. It's up to you how you use it. It can be a great way to get new ideas, or to break out of a creative rut, or to just speed up some of the more tedious parts of music production.
Yeah, like mixing.
Exactly.
So it's not about replacing human creativity. It's about augmenting it, giving musicians more options.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We talked about the best laptops for music production. We broke down CPU, RAM, and storage. We even talked about the future of music technology.
We had a good discussion.
It has. So I think the biggest takeaway for our listeners is there's no one right answer. When it comes to choosing a laptop,
Right.
it depends on your needs, your budget, your goals, and the music you're making.
Right.
Hopefully this deep dive has given you some things to think about as you're making your decision.
I hope so.
And don't forget to check out the Music Radar article. We'll put a link in the show notes.
It had a lot of great information.
So, one last question for our listeners. If you could design your dream music production laptop, what would it have? What would make it the perfect machine for you?
That's a good question.
What features would be most important to you? Think about it and let us know. Because who knows, maybe someday your dream laptop will become a reality. Until then, keep making music.
Making music.
You know, it's amazing to think about how far music production technology has come, even in the last few years. Like, it wasn't that long ago that you needed a whole room full of gear to make music that sounded professional, and now you can do it all on a laptop.
That's crazy.
It really makes you wonder what's next. What do you think the future holds for music production laptops?
Well, if I had to guess, I'd say we're going to see even more integration between hardware and software. Like, imagine laptops that come with built-in audio interfaces.
Whoa.
Or AI-powered music production tools.
AI-powered music production tools.
Yeah,
like
tools that can help you write songs. Or arrange your music. Or even mix and master your tracks.
That sounds exciting and a little scary.
I know, right?
So, you're saying that in the future, we could have AI assistants that help us make music.
It's definitely possible.
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
I think it's important to remember that AI is just a tool. It's up to the musician how they use it.
That's a good point. Well, I think we've covered a lot today.
Yeah, we have.
We talked about the top laptops for music production. We broke down those essential specs like CPU, RAM, and storage. We even touched on the future of music technology.
And hopefully, our listeners feel like they can choose the right laptop for their needs.
I hope so, too. You know, choosing a laptop is a personal decision. There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Right.
It's all about finding the machine that best fits your creative workflow, your budget, and your goals.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And of course, if you want even more info, be sure to check out that Music Radar article. We'll put a link in the show notes.
It's a great resource.
So, one last question for you, our listener. If you could design your dream music production laptop, what would it have? What would make it the ultimate creative tool?
Yeah. That's a great question to think about.
What features would be most important to you? Let us know.
Uh,
'Cause you never know, maybe someday your dream laptop will become a reality. Until then, keep making music.
Keep making music.